Before OPay, before Paystack, before MoneyPoint, before Flutterwave, there was one company quietly building the pipes that Nigeria's entire banking system runs on today. No app, no flashy ads. Most Nigerians have never even heard its name. But every time you swipe an ATM card, pay with Verve, or your bank transfer just works, there's a good chance this company is the reason. In 2019, it became Africa's first fintech unicorn, worth over $1 billion. This is the story of Interswitch, and the near disaster that almost buried it before it got there. Let's rewind to the early 2000s. Nigeria's banking system was a mess. If you wanted cash, you didn't just walk to an ATM, because there basically weren't any working ones. You queued for hours. Sometimes you traveled with raw cash on dangerous roads, because banks in different cities couldn't talk to each other. One young engineer named Elegbe had seen a different world. While working abroad, his card got trapped in a UK ATM. Annoying, but it worked. He came home and realized Nigeria didn't even have that basic infrastructure. So in 2002, he did something bold. He didn't build an app. He built the invisible wiring, a switch that would let every Nigerian bank's machines talk to each other for the first time. He pitched it to a room of competing banks, enemies in business, and convinced 7 of them, plus his former employer Telnet, to fund it together. He raised about 200 million Naira, roughly $1.2 million at the time. Here's the twist most people don't know. Elegbe launched the company owning 0% equity. He wasn't the owner. He was just the guy hired to run it. Interswitch started small, just 3 banks on its network. But the timing was perfect. Nigeria was about to go digital, whether it was ready or not. Interswitch built the country's first electronic ATM switch, meaning any card could work at any bank's machine. Then came the real game changer, Verve, a homegrown debit card built for Nigerians that didn't depend on Visa or MasterCard's international rails. Verve exploded. Today, it accounts for a huge share of every debit card in circulation in the country. Then Interswitch went further, powering point-of-sale machines, online bill payments, and the back end of e-commerce checkouts most Nigerians used without ever knowing the name Interswitch was behind it. Within a decade, this company that started with 3 banks was connecting 11,000 ATMs and thousands of financial institutions across Nigeria. It expanded into Kenya, Uganda, Gambia, and beyond. By the mid-2010s, Interswitch wasn't just a Nigerian success story, it was one of the most valuable tech companies on the entire continent. 14 years earlier, Elegbe was pitching 7 Nigerian banks to believe in an impossible idea. Now, some of the biggest financial institutions in the world wanted a seat at his table. There was talk of something huge, a $1 billion stock market listing in both Lagos and London. It looked unstoppable. Imagine spending 14 years building your dream company. Investors are lining up, London is waiting. Newspapers are calling it Africa's biggest fintech listing. Then one day, your country's economy crashes, and suddenly, nobody wants to buy what you've spent 14 years building. In 2016, the Naira crashed, oil prices collapsed, dollars became almost impossible to find, and the foreign exchange market froze up. For Interswitch, this was brutal timing. They were midway through planning that historic $1 billion IPO, the deal that would make them Africa's first fintech to list globally. But international investors got scared. Why would you pour money into a Nigerian company if you might never be able to convert your returns back into dollars? Interswitch was forced to suspend the entire IPO over the FX scarcity crisis. Elegbe himself admitted the macroeconomic situation was the deciding factor. Investors were, in his words, jittery about the Naira and whether they'd ever get their money out of the country. The listing that was supposed to happen in 2016 got pushed, then pushed again. Years slipped by with no IPO. And while Interswitch was stuck in limbo, a new wave of scrappy competitors was rising fast. Flutterwave, Paystack, and others building sleek apps that plugged directly into the API-driven, mobile-first world young Nigerians were suddenly living in. The company that built the rails everyone else ran on was suddenly at risk of being seen as yesterday's infrastructure. old, slow, and stuck behind glass, while flashier startups took the spotlight. Here's where most companies would have quietly faded. Interswitch didn't. Instead of forcing a public listing nobody could safely invest in, they changed the play entirely. In November 2019, global payments giant Visa took a reported $200 million minority stake in Interswitch, instantly valuing the company at over $1 billion. No stock exchange bell, no London trading floor. Just one of the biggest names in global finance saying, "We believe in this African infrastructure enough to buy in directly." That made Interswitch one of Africa's very first fintech unicorns. But the real pivot wasn't just the Visa deal. It was a strategy. Instead of chasing the flashy consumer app war against Paystack and Flutterwave, Interswitch doubled down on what only it could do, being the invisible backbone. The switch, the rails everyone else, even its competitors, still had to plug into. While everyone was arguing over which fintech would become Nigeria's next billion-dollar startup, Interswitch was quietly collecting tolls on the digital highway it had built years earlier. Fast forward to more recent years, even through fresh Naira turbulence, the company came back stronger. Revenue surged 50% to a record $137.5 billion, and the group returned decisively to profitability with a $23 billion pre-tax profit. Turns out, being boring but essential was the smartest business model in the room. Today, Interswitch quietly powers a massive share of Nigeria's card transactions. Its Verve card has tens of millions of active users. It's still one of the continent's most valuable tech companies, not because it was the loudest, but because it was the most necessary. And if you're wondering whether Mitchell Elegbe remained the man with 0% ownership, he didn't. Over the years, he bought his way into the company he helped build, and today remains one of its largest individual shareholders. Here's the irony. The biggest fintech story in Africa wasn't built by the loudest company in the room. It was built by the one nobody saw coming. While everyone else was fighting to become the next big thing, Interswitch became something much more valuable. Necessary. Because when the apps change, the infrastructure remains. Before OPay, before MoneyPoint, before Flutterwave, there was Interswitch.